Welcome to Converse in the Ninjaverse, episode 79. I don't know how the hell we got this far, how long we did this.
We lost Will.
We lost Will, but we gained Gene.
Yes. New Will.
I'm the anti-Will.
He's the anti-Will. He's the responsible Will.
Are we going to get in trouble again because we got rid of the Puerto Rican guy?
Yeah, but we gained an Italian.
All right. It's...
So you trade up then. Okay.
Trade it up, absolutely. Absolutely. But
I consider it a lateral move.
Send your emails to
the Ninjaverse@gmail.com. But I am Chris.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Gene.
And we haven't really done... Yeah, where is Gene from?
I am from New Jersey.
Well, we know you're from New Jersey.
Geographically, you have an entertainment outlet.
Yes, I do. I have two, actually. I have the Hammer Podcasts, and I have the Quantum Cast, where I talk about all things Quasar with my good friend Jiff. And both can be found at the Two True Freaks Internet Radio Network at twotruefreaks.com.
I love the fact that you do a Quasar podcast.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Everybody else does,
Hey, keep for going a little too deep for somebody. Quasar is a Marvel superhero.
It's not a type of star. It is actually a superhero.
Yeah.
Very interesting superhero, too, if you get into the comics. But I won't go on about that here because that'll be the whole show.
That would be the whole show, and you have a whole show devoted to that.
Yes, I do.
So if you want to know about Quasar, check it out. So I guess we'll kind of do the box office this week because we haven't really done much of the box office in a while. Because we're
kind of into summer movies. We're into our popcorn movies. All the Oscar flair has died down, and all the artsy fartsy this movie means something movies have gone away, and we're back to guys in tight pants punching. It's
now
monsters in tight pants.
Lots of superheroes, monsters, explosions, and Michael fucking Bay.
You had to bring him up, didn't you?
I did. We'll get to him later.
Oh, do we have to? I mean, it's almost like we have to keep on bringing up somebody's drinking problem.
I don't know what you mean by a drinking problem. I represent that remark. Thank you. But we did get another superhero movie out this weekend. Amazing Spider-Man 2 took in all the money. No big surprise there. Took in $91.6 million over the weekend. It's been open a week, and it's taken in $450 million worldwide.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
When I saw the initial box office, the weekend box office of 91, I was almost kind of like, oh, they must be disappointed. Because what was the other Spider-Man made 116 in 2 days or something?
Yeah, but I'm hearing it's not getting great feedback from what I've heard. It's kind of getting average feedback, I guess.
Yeah. It might be a little busy. They might be trying to set up too much. We've been criticizing the amount of villains in it. The last show, I kind of thought about it and said, well, Captain America had a lot of villains, and that worked. And Spider-Man always deals with a lot. I dig Andrew Garfield in the part. I kind of like what they did in it. I like that they brought him back to the high school thing, keep him young for a little bit. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. But yeah, I mean, it's not getting horrible reviews. It's just not. I guess it's just not getting It's not getting Avengers reviews or Captain America reviews.
Well,
I guess.
When you have the Winter Soldier that just came out, then you go to this. It's going to be kind of hard to compete.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you guys seen the Winter Soldier yet?
Yes.
I have not. I'm behind.
Oh, you're still behind on that.
I'm still behind on that.
I think Winter Soldier did stuff. It went beyond just being a superhero movie, and it was an espionage movie. We talked about this.
Yeah, last week I think.
Yeah, it was an espionage movie that had superheroes in it. And one of the things that I loved about it was it made Falcon work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where if you would have told me 10 years ago there's going to be this awesome movie that had the Marvel character Falcon in it, I wouldn't believe it.
really, if we told you 10 years ago there was going to be two awesome movies that went around Thor, would you have believed it?
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they could have made Thor work. That they made Captain America and Falcon work. And it was all, and it's not goofy, it's not campy. It works. It's fun. It's good.
On a little side note of the Spider-Man movie, I got to see, I forget where I saw it. I don't remember if it was somebody posted it on YouTube or whatever, but I got to see the end credit scene. I guess that kind of is.
Oh yeah, that's bouncing around the X-Men promo. That's
the X-Men promo, and it was kind of like end. It wasn't. I don't know what the big deal about it was. I was like, all right, yeah, it's Mystique and Havoc and Toad.
You know what it did?
But
It generated a lot of free commercial buzz on the internet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because there was enough teasers and enough people that were trying to get clicks and all, and make it sound like Spider-Man was crossing over with the X-Men in this movie. And it accomplished exactly what Fox wanted to have happen, that people talked about their movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And people stopped talking about the fact that Bryan Singer might have been banging
Touching kids.
boys in hot tubs in Hawaii or whatever.
And that's getting worse every day from what I gather.
Yeah, it sounds bad. Now I heard things that it's like connected. That stuff like that's been going on for years.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Not good.
yeah, not good. Not good at all. But Captain America's still hanging in there. Took in a little under $8 million, $237 million total. It's hanging in fourth place. Aside from that, not much else I've heard of in the top 5. So it's kind of our box office.
I pulled it up, and then when I had to reboot my computer, I lost it again. What else was in the top 5?
Number 2 was The Other Woman. That took in $14.4 million. Number 3
That's
was
that. It's not like a romantic comedy. It's like a chick comedy, I guess, is the best way to call it. It's what was it? It was like First Wives Club, but I remember what it reminded me of. Chasing Poppy.
Okay.
Which was.
I don't even think I've ever seen a trailer for this movie or a commercial for it. So I
saw the movies for this other. I saw the trailer, not the movie, for Other Woman, and it reminded me of the movie Chasing Poppy. That was 3 women that were going after the same guy, and they all realized they were involved in the same guy, and they started like messing with him, yet still trying to be with him. And the only reason I watched that is because somebody I went to high school was in it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So I watched it.
Right.
That's your story, huh?
No, Yvette Sosa from Eden's Crush, who was a friend of mine in high school, had a part in Chasing Poppy.
Okay.
Not a big part, but still a part. So I watched the movie.
But actually,
it's a horrible movie. Oh my god, it's terrible.
But actually, going back to Amazing Spider-Man, real quick. Will's brother is in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He gets saved by Spider-Man. So, if you see that, you'll have to look for it. At some point, Michael gets saved by Spider-Man.
Does he save him from eating a giant cheeseburger made out of donuts and grilled cheese?
And bacon? No. Will needed Spider-Man.
Yes.
If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to last week's show.
We have to announce that Will died, and that's it.
Will's heart exploded. But
he's in Luther Vandross heaven now.
If you don't know what we're talking about, listen to last week's show where we talked about Will's glorious cheeseburger. But also check out our YouTube page, and I did some fine editing, if I do say so myself. There's a video of Will eating this disgusting cheeseburger.
Disgusting, but so good looking.
So it did kind of look good, but I'm fat, but I ain't that fat.
I'm looking at this top 5 for the box office real quick, and there's an interesting. You got the 2 superhero movies, you got the 1 comedy, you got the kids movie with 302, and then you got that Heaven is for Real.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, I don't know what it is.
I remember seeing the trailer is freaky. They ran the trailer before Saving Mr. Banks when I saw that, and it is a movie about a little kid who dies, like has a near-death experience type of thing.
Oh yeah.
And comes back with I went to heaven and met Grandpa, and you know.
Yeah, I think I saw that trailer before Mr. Banks as well. That sounds creepy.
Yeah. Brick Mansions, $15 million, a remake of B-13. Divergent, the horror movie, that's doing well. $142 million over 7 weeks. That's good horror numbers. Wrong podcast, but horror numbers. Quiet Ones, $6 million over 2 weeks. The Grand Budapest Hotel, 9 weeks, $51 million. There's one of our art pictures. That's that'll get a nomination or two for something like a screenwriting nomination come Oscar time. That's like a Wes Anderson movie. He's an acquired taste. I dig him, but a lot of people are weirded out by Wes Anderson. All right, and this number 10, I have no idea what the fuck this is. God's Not Dead?
I wasn't aware that he was.
Yeah, I saw a teaser trailer for that. Or a teaser poster or something. Oh, stupid fucking commercials. There's a commercial that pops up. I clicked on the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database page.
Right.
For God's Not Dead. And a commercial started.
Oh, great.
Was it for God's Not Dead? Or was it?
Yes. No, for God's Not Dead. College philosophy professor Mr. Radisson's curriculum is challenged by his new student, Josh, who believes God exists. Oh, so this is one of those. This might be another Bible thumper movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Now I get the title because Nietzsche said God is dead.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
God is dead, and then God's not dead. Philosophy. Guess who's playing philosophy professor Radisson?
Robin Williams.
I don't know who I was saying. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, not Robin Williams. I think
Chevy
more
Chase?
action. He's a actor who has appeared as a comic book character in a movie.
Hugh Jackman?
No.
Oh.
Samuel L. Jackson.
No. This is a tough one.
Bruce Willis?
No. Think a little bit larger in physical size and a lot smaller in he's in a movie.
Dolph Lundgren?
No. But you're closer.
Lou Ferrigno?
No, but he played the same character as Lou Ferrigno once.
Eric Bana?
No, it's not the Hulk.
I have no idea.
See, this isn't that good of a game.
Kevin Sorbo?
Kevin Sorbo.
There we go.
Fantastic.
And then the rest of the cast, I've never heard. Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. I scrolled down a little bit. There is another superhero who appears.
Oh, God.
A television superhero.
This time it's Lou Ferrigno.
No. This is Mr. Dean Cain.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Hercules and
Superman against Jesus.
You know what? That's a movie I want to see.
Right?
Oh, you want a comic book you want to read? The main Two True Freaks podcast. They did something on Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
And they made a joke about the next issue being Batman versus Jesus.
Fantastic.
And then someone made a cover for it.
That's awesome.
I'll have to find it somewhere.
I would pick that up in a heartbeat.
I can remember I had a guy that I used to do some writing with way back in high school. And I would just come up with ideas, and sometimes he would draw them out as in like comic book battles, and we'd come up with different notes on things for comic books that we were going to write one day and never did. You know, high school type of stuff. But I would come in with these scenarios like, what if Hulk Hogan fought Dracula? And one of the ones I had was, what if Jesus fought Superman? And he's like, Superman would tear Jesus apart. I'm like, well, what if Jesus just turned all of Superman's blood into wine? Which somebody took that bit. I think Family Guy or somebody did that. Well, not that they took it from me, but they did the same thing once.
But if anybody could beat Jesus, it would be Batman.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I have with the internet, and I know I've talked about this before, but I don't have the reverence for Batman could beat everybody that everybody on the internet.
No.
Yeah. See, I don't like that. I like Batman as the world's greatest detective, not the world's greatest everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't. It makes it unbelievable that, all right, he's a great detective, he's awesome at martial arts, and he's a scientist that can build and create all this stuff.
Yeah.
He owns a research facility. I like the way they do it in the movie, where it's like, oh no, he has people researching stuff for him, and he pulls things up and he buys stuff that he's not inventing the bat boat.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see the animated movie? What was it? Crap! It was where Batman and Superman crossed over in the animated universe. World's Finest.
Okay.
Well, Batman comes to Metropolis. He's tracking the Joker who stole kryptonite, etc., etc., etc. Well, Batman's beating up some thugs in a nightclub. Superman comes in, says, "Stop it!" Puts his hand on Batman's shoulder. Batman flips him.
No.
So then Superman's, he's like, oh, that was interesting. Gets up and body slams Batman.
Nice.
So Batman's just laying there. So perfect example. Yes, Batman may get the upper hand once, but then Superman's gonna knock him on his ass.
I think a lot of that with Batman can beat everybody kind of came from the whole the Dark Knight Returns, where
Yeah, kinda. I mean, but he died in that.
Yeah. But he's still.
Yeah. But then they did it in JLA Tower of Babel, where he had this contingency plan for every single member of the Justice League.
Yeah,
Right.
I could kind of see, I can see him doing that though. I can see Batman doing that.
That makes sense, and it was if Batman had to go on the offensive for any reason. But I think if my whole theory behind it was I thought it works if Batman becomes a villain. But if Superman turned evil, obviously the first thing he would do was just fly to Wayne Manor and rip Bruce Wayne's head off while Batman's sleeping.
Yeah.
Or just drop a oil tanker on top of Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
No, just go fly into the stratosphere and nail him with his heat vision.
Yeah, and he could do a ton of different things. Yeah, that's the thing with Batman. He would be a cool villain, but you can't be like, oh, Batman's going to be a hero and he could beat all these other guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other issue that I've had, I don't know why I'm harping on Batman. This is just something that's been building up. I guess it's the internet makes me think about this stuff.
You bring me in, we talk about comic books. That's the way.
That's all right. That's
fine.
It
We haven't done an awful lot of comic talk lately.
No, we haven't, because I haven't been.
We've been lacking because none of us have been reading anything. We've been out of the loop a little bit.
No, neither have I. I've been reading stuff in the 80s.
Out of whatever. But going back to what was one of the DC Marvel crossovers and the Batman Punisher stuff. When a lot of that talk came up, and they're like, well, Batman is a truer hero because he's not using guns and he's not killing people, and Punisher does that stuff. Where I looked at Batman as all right, he's a whiny kid whose parents got killed and he's been seeking revenge since then. Punisher's a guy who had to watch his family die.
Yeah.
And people are gonna react different than that.
Well,
Batman's got mom and dad issues, and the Punisher's a guy seeking true revenge against evil.
Well, Batman, I think they summed it up best. I think it was in one of Alex Ross's things, where basically Superman's talking to him. He said, the whole reason for Batman is he does not want to see another 9-year-old go through that.
I do remember.
He's not seeking revenge. He's trying to prevent more tragedy. There are some things that he does I don't like, after the Joker kills his millionth person, maybe you want to let him fall off the bridge, but that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I have issues with Batman. I don't dislike Batman, but when people start telling me that, I guess it's when people are big on Batman, it pisses me off. But I think that might just be me, because I'm always the guy that doesn't like the most popular guy.
You're like the hipster comic book reader.
Well, I don't want to be the hipster comic book reader because I love Wolverine, and the hipster comic book readers hate Wolverine. But it's okay because Wolverine's going to be dead now.
Wolverine's going to die. Yeah, we can actually take this conversation in two different directions.
See, a segue.
We could great segue because one, Marvel is killing off Wolverine supposedly. How I don't know. Why I don't know.
Is it a tie-in because does he die in Days of Future Past, the movie?
Maybe.
I was thinking about that. Like maybe they kill him off in the movie, but I think they're making another Wolverine movie. I thought.
Yeah, they're making another Wolverine movie. Supposedly Hugh Jackman has signed on for one more Wolverine movie and one more X-Men movie. I think he's going to be in X-Men Apocalypse or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know what they're doing. I mean, it seems to be that kind of ever since Death of Superman, that kind of seems to be the trendy thing to do every couple of years. Kill somebody.
You know how that came about, don't you? Death of Superman? Back then, they had just started Lois and Clark. But in the comics for Superman 75, the initial plan, because at that point Lois and Clark were engaged in the comics, Superman 75 was supposed to be the wedding issue. Well, no, can't do that. We got to have the wedding issue the same time they get married on the TV show, and that's a few years away. So anytime they ran up against something like that, one of the writers would just come up and say, well, why don't we just kill him? And then they would go and do something else, and it just got back to, well, why don't we just kill him? But it was you can tell from the entire thing, it was never meant to be permanent.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, we're going to kill him, and then he's gone, and then some, years later, well, what about Superman? Why don't we just bring him back from the dead? This was always, we kill him, we have this whole funeral thing, we have Reign of the Superman, we bring him back.
We sell billions of issues of a comic book, and then it's worth $2.
Now, yeah. And I think since then, too, it happens a lot with these characters, and they stay dead about a year.
Yeah. Well, they just did that with Spider-Man, where they killed off Peter. They kind of killed off Peter Parker, and now that miraculously in April, or the new movies are beginning of May. New movies coming out in April. Peter Parker comes back as Spider-Man.
Yeah, they used to kill characters like how Jordan was dead 6 years or so.
Yeah. Well, Barry Allen was dead.
Barry Allen was dead 25, 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, when they brought Barry Allen back, that was like
Bucky was dead 70 years.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the running joke is that nobody stays dead in comics unless you're
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Or
Captain Marvel.
Or it used to be Uncle Ben and Bucky, and now it's just Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Something else I was thinking about comic book wise, and this.
They did kind of bring Uncle Ben back. They brought him back as a clone, I think.
Yeah, but that was kind of silly. That was in one of them silly periods that we're not going to talk about.
There's a lot
of modern comics.
It's a silly place.
That's why I read the more independent stuff.
I had some weird train of thought things that were going on with me this week, and I was thinking about superheroes and that. If you figure the top 3 superheroes are Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. I'm just gonna say in popularity in general.
Yeah. Right.
If like Family Feud style, if I poll 100 people, top 3 answers for superhero, who am I gonna get? Those are the 3 ones.
Yeah.
All of them aren't raised by their natural parents.
True.
Right.
True.
Which whether that was by design or by coincidence, you had, the foster parents for Superman. You had Alfred raised Batman. You had Uncle Ben and Aunt May raised Spider-Man. And then there's a couple other, like Luke Skywalker got raised by his uncle. Harry Potter was raised by his uncle. There's...
Because, Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But I got in this weird train of thought that a lot of those characters were non-traditional families, I guess.
Right.
And this might have been because I read some very angry article about comic books in the 60s being bad because there wasn't enough multiculturalism in it. And I think it was kind of a backlash about people getting upset about the Johnny Storm casting.
Probably.
Oh.
Which we've talked about a little bit, and that's what I brought up last week, that everybody got upset about the Johnny Storm casting, but nobody got upset that they still cast a white woman as Susan Storm.
Mm.
So, now I'm losing my train of thought. This was all very loose association I was going through, and I don't even remember how I just backed myself into, I'm talking about stupid Johnny Storm again. This is like 3 weeks in a row. All right, the non-traditional family thing.
Mm-hmm.
So comics have done things maybe a little different. It tends to be a white face underneath the mask.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was done on purpose by the writers. Probably more by a publication, by the money guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Back then. And I can't see slamming Jack Kirby and Stan Lee about it. Yeah, I remember Stan Lee in a speech talking about, or speech or interview or whatever, talking about Spider-Man, and part of the popularity of Spider-Man was anybody could like him because he was completely covered.
Right. You don't know who's under the mask.
Yeah. And anybody can kind of be Spider-Man. And that's like with that Ultimate Spider-Man is like a gay Spanish kid or something.
I think so. But I don't read Ultimate at all.
And then they did that Indian Spider-Man for a while in the early 2000s in India. They're trying to sell books out in the Asian market.
Okay.
They created an Indian Spider-Man. But I think the that alternative family stuff is something that's been overlooked a little bit in comics as showing things different when you're just slamming it for being white people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of took us in this weird downer note, but when I was trying to do a positive thing about...
Damn it, Michael.
You see, I'm trying to say something nice about orphans after last year's tirade about orphans.
You had to go there again, didn't you?
Please.
Well, we were talking about best of stuff in pre-show.
True. I don't know if that goes best of, though.
Why wouldn't that be best of?
I don't know.
I thought it was funny.
As long as you amuse yourself, right?
Well, the number one's got to be Black RoboCop.
Black RoboCop was good.
I don't even know what episode that was, but that was hysterical.
It must have been when RoboCop was coming out.
It was even before that. I think it was like
When the posters or something.
when the posters were coming out, when we first realized that they were rebooting RoboCop.
Yeah.
I ran into my on the street bootleg guy the other day. There's a guy that comes into the bar that I shoot pool at and sells DVDs
Okay.
that aren't necessarily as directly purchased. Don't tell the FBI, but apparently I know this guy that might have DVDs.
NSA, please stop taping now.
Yeah, dude, we're on the internet.
Yeah. Shh, everybody on the internet, cheese it.
They already know
So-
there's going to be a knock at your door in about.
Whatever. I don't know nothing. I found him. I'm making this story up.
They fell off a
Dogs
back
lie. Are you on a cell phone? Prank caller, prank caller. Bring no fucked up fish to my house, Lance.
All right, DVD.
All right, so anyway, I'm flipping through these DVDs. I got into Pulp Fiction. Jeez.
God damn, you are all over the fucking place.
I know, and I'm not even drinking. It's coffee. Oh.
Really? That's
That's why
odd.
it's a stimulant.
I drank coffee instead of drinking beer, and I'm I can't concentrate on anything. I got ADD. Ugh, I need some Ritalin or something.
Something.
Adult Ritalin. So, all right. Anyway, moral of the story is I could have bought RoboCop for $4, but didn't. But I did buy Lone Ranger. So.
Hey, we'll have to watch Lone Ranger and let us know how bad it really is.
Yes. But I couldn't even bring myself to watching RoboCop to find out how bad it is.
Yeah, but RoboCop I think is at the $2 place across the street, so I may spend $2 and go see it.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound good.
No. But I guess that does bring us into it is that wonderful time of the year again. We are hitting the beginning of the summer movie season.
Yoo-hoo.
And started a little early with Cap, and then last week was Amazing Spider-Man. I pulled up a list. I only kind of grabbed what is kind of our genre. I don't know if Mike has anything in front of him with any oddball stuff.
Yeah, not really. Maybe I'll look for it next week. I don't want to. I've been rambling enough. I can really get lost again.
So we'll start with May 16th, which is the day I have been waiting for a couple months now, and that is Godzilla Day. And I can't wait for this movie.
And we're not talking Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
No, we're not talking Matthew Broderick Godzilla. We're talking real, kind of real Godzilla. I've always been a big Godzilla fan ever since I was a little kid, and I'm looking forward to this. It looks solid. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it doesn't screw us over. Looks like it's got a good cast. He looks like Godzilla's fighting some big-ass monsters. I'm all for that.
I think it's what everybody wants in a Godzilla movie. They want them to fight monsters. They don't want it to be silly like that, the Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
Yeah. And I think what actually helped get this movie made was Cloverfield.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the best non-Godzilla. Well, one until I saw Pacific Rim was one of the best Godzilla movies.
Yeah, Cloverfield and they reminded us what a good monster movie is.
Oh, absolutely. So that comes out on May 16th. The following weekend, May 23rd, we have Blended, which is the Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore going to the well maybe one too many times movie.
Yeah. Which looks to me like a remake of His, Mine, and Ours.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That's like an old Lucille Ball, Bob Hope movie.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what it is. I'm a huge Wedding Singer fan. 50 First Dates was pretty solid. Kind of not ready to go back to the well. Adam Sandler's kind of worn out his welcome for me. He's done some good stuff, but not in a while.
Yeah, it's been tough with Adam Sandler. You kind of got to go back to. He's really resting on the laurels of about 5 good movies and other things. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
He did. What the hell was that? The movie he did with Don Cheadle, the 9/11 movie.
Oh yes, I forget. It was more of a dramatic part. Yeah,
which was really good. And it was kind of like, I kind of almost like to see him maybe kind of do the Tom Hanks thing and maybe kind of get away from the comedy stuff and maybe try a little dramatic stuff. I enjoyed him in that.
I liked Punch Drunk Love.
I don't know if I saw that.
Being more dramatic. And that was that was dark. I'd consider Punch Drunk Love like a dark comedy. It's not a laugh out loud comedy. It's a, if sad comedy is a word.
Sad comedy. All right. That's kind of what this show is. This show is kind of a sad comedy.
Yes, it's sad comedy. Or funny tragedy.
Yes.
I like to look at it more of a glass half full. That sounds better than sad comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Sad comedy, yes.
Like a funny tragedy is like if a busload of clowns goes off a cliff. Yeah. A funny tragedy.
Thank you, George Carlin.
I don't really think that's a funny tragedy. I just think that's funny. That's a kill all clowns with fire.
My wife agrees with you.
I'm looking at some of this stuff coming out, and like what you said about not knowing what any of this is, there are a couple things here that
there's just a lot of stuff that I just didn't really know what it was, and I just was again this is kind of the Chris is being lazy podcast because I didn't look it up. I didn't care enough to look it up. But also that weekend is the new X-Men movie, Days of Future Past, which, from what I've seen, looks good. It's got to be better than X-Men 3. X-Men First Class is pretty good.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
If it stays on the level of X-Men First Class, I think it'll be great.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even if it stays on the level of the first X-Men movie, I think it will be okay.
Yeah.
Anything in between those two, we might have an issue.
From what I've seen in the trailers, in that 70s vibe, it reminds me of the look and the feel. It just makes me think X-Men, like the new X-Men.
The all new, all different.
Oh, the all new, all different.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say bigger and bolder, but I knew that was wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, from what I've seen in the trailers, I mean, we've talked about it. The Iceman on the ice slide looks cool. I'm excited to see Sunspot in a movie because he was always kind of one of my favorite lesser X-Men, New Mutants.
Psyched for Bishop.
Bishop is kind of cool. So I've got high hopes
like
for
to
that.
see people fighting in bell bottoms,
Yeah. So that looks like it's going to be pretty good. The following weekend, May 30th, we have A Million Ways to Die in the West. So that looks like that could be fun. For me, that's probably a rental or.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think it could be really funny, or we could be seeing a lot of Family Guy jokes over and over again.
Yeah, which is probably what we're going to see, but it could be fun.
It's Liam Neeson in another comedy role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
old is he now?
Following up the Lego movie. How old is Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
He's got to be 90.
Oh, he's got to be up there because he was a leading man in the 60s.
Yeah.
No. Really?
Yeah, Forbidden Planet.
That's Leslie Nielsen.
Okay. I misheard you then. I'm sorry.
Liam Neeson.
Oh,
Liam
Liam
Neeson.
Neeson.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Okay.
Not Frank Drebin.
We were talking about Leslie Nielsen beforehand.
That's all right.
Apparently, it's been a long week.
Yeah, it has.
For us all. Liam Neeson was born in 1952.
Okay.
So he's 62.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad.
But also that
But
weekend.
anyway, that's like his second comedy this year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also that weekend is another movie I'm looking forward to, and I'm not a big Angelina Jolie fan, but I am definitely looking forward to Maleficent.
Yeah. That
Because
does look cool.
Maleficent's always kind of been one of my favorite Disney villains. So
Yeah, and that's why I'm not really looking forward to it.
yeah,
Like her as she is.
I'm a little torn, but I'm kind of digging the whole it's her story as opposed to Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, I hope they don't pull a Wicked on us.
See, I saw Wicked, and I thought Wicked was good.
Yeah, but then you're sympathizing for the villain in
True.
Wizard of Oz.
True.
And
True.
in that movie, she is completely unsympathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
Maleficent losing her wings and all this.
Some broad dropped the house on her sister. You'd be pretty pissed off too, Then moving into June, we've got 22 Jump Street, which is the sequel to 21 Jump Street, which I saw the 21 Jump Street movie. I thought it was all right.
Okay. I've never seen it.
I thought it was all right. I mean, the cameo of Johnny Depp and Peter DeLuise was fantastic. Especially going back to being, kind of remembering 21 Jump Street in its day. I'm not a huge Jonah Hill fan, but it was pretty good. Also that weekend is How to Train Your Dragon 2.
That I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that as well because I kind of got on the How to Train Your Dragon bandwagon a little late, caught it on HBO.
Yeah, that's
fun movie.
Same with us. It was just, oh, look, this is on. It's a free weekend. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before that.
And I thought it was really good. Trailers I've seen from it looks good. And it's it's an animated kids movie about dragons. You really kind of can't go wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I dug it. I thought that was done well. I was big on the first one. I think the series does well on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, yeah. And then the
What about
fall.
this? I'm looking at the week before Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I missed that. I missed that on my list. I have it on my list. I just skipped over it.
A soldier fighting in a war with aliens finds himself caught in a time loop of the last day in the battle, though he becomes better skilled along the way.
Sure it isn't starring Bill Murray?
Yeah,
It's Groundhog Day again versus Alien. Fantastic.
it is, and Bill Paxton is even in it.
Oh, wow.
Is he really?
Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Bill Paxton.
Fantastic.
Why don't you put her in charge, man? All right, what else you got on your list?
June 27th.
Oh,
A movie that I want to
take a
hate.
deep breath.
I want to hate it, but the trailer looks so fucking awesome. Transformers: Age of Extinction. I want to hate it.
Don't get sucked in. Wait till video.
I know. Every fiber of my being wants to hate this movie.
Then
But
you
the
saw
trailer
Grimlock.
The trailer just looks so awesome. You know, and we've talked about this on the show. I was suckered into going to see Transformers 2 in the theater twice. Once with two guys that do this podcast with me on a regular basis. Not
Was that
Gene.
the first or second time?
What?
Did they take you the first or the second time you saw it?
No, I went once with Will, and then I went once with Mike. 2 separate times I saw Transformers 2.
Wow.
I think I saw it 2 separate times as well.
And I was just hoping that second time that it was going to be better, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't get better.
No. I'm standing underneath them.
Sometimes I need to see a movie twice to realize how bad it is.
You really didn't need to see this one twice to know how bad it was.
It did take me twice. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, that was cool. It had this and this and this happen. And then the second time, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no. It was the first time.
Once I got past the initial roller coaster of it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, so I'm a little excited about the new Transformers movie. I'll withhold judgment until I see it, whether I see it in the theater or on video.
That Transformers 2 is one of the reasons why I'm not as excited about Grimlock as you guys have been in the past talking about this thing, because I got excited about
Devastator.
And I got excited about Jetfire.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's kind of how that's kind of how I feel. I think what has suckered me in is the fact that Prime is the old school truck, and that's
okay.
I know that's he said, I know that's going to sucker Chris into coming to see this movie, is putting Prime back the way he should look. I'm going to get that son of a bitch's $15.
Oh, so he listens to the podcast.
He must. So he knows that I hate
And he
him.
cries himself to sleep.
As he masturbates all over his money.
Yes. Our money.
Our money. But the weekend, I don't know if it's a weekend after that or I guess it's 2 weekends after that. Another movie I'm kind of looking forward to, because another movie that I caught on HBO and was pleasantly surprised with the previous one. This is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I was pleasantly surprised as to how good that was.
I heard Rise was good. I haven't seen any Apes movies since the original 5. So,
I recommend Rise. I really do.
That's why I heard that it really doesn't contradict anything from the past.
If you're a fan of the original Ape movies, like I am, you'll definitely dig this movie.
Okay. Well, you're the second person to say that to me, so I may just have to give it a
you'll definitely dig it. So again, anybody listening out there that hasn't seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes, check it out, because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes comes out on July 11th. And then the same day, in kind of a strange movie thing, is the Fluffy movie is coming out.
Yeah, what the heck is that?
It's a Gabriel Iglesias movie. The comedian. I don't know what it's about, but he's got a movie coming out.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. I love him. I think he's hysterical. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a live comedy
Like a stand-up,
special,
or is he
like
out
a stand-up, kind of like the
acting
Kevin
out
Hart.
stories?
Kevin Hart had done the stand-up movie a while back. I don't know if it's kind of the same vein. The weekend after that, we have Jupiter Ascending, which I didn't look that one up either.
In the
Planes,
future, a young, destitute human woman gets targeted for assassination by the Queen of the Universe and begins her destiny to finish the Queen's reign. Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum,
I'll
Sean
go see it.
Bean.
Take my money. If she's in it, I will go see it. I don't care how bad it is. If she is in it, I will go see it.
It sounds like Chick Flash Gordon.
Yeah, but Mila Kunis is in it.
See, I was thinking chick Star Wars.
Yeah, kind of. I was actually leaning towards Flash because as you were saying that, I heard the Flash Gordon music in my head.
Oh, you
also,
skipped planes firing.
No, that's actually right under that on the same list.
Okay.
Disney is going back to the Cars/Planes well again, for Planes Fire and Rescue, and then also the second or maybe the third Purge movie is coming out. Purge
It's
Anarchy.
the second Purge.
I can't.
I know there was a first Purge.
I can't. The first one I think did really well. It had Ethan Hawke in it.
Yeah. The first one did well, and it couldn't have had much of a budget because it only had like one static. They shot it all in one house.
Yeah.
It was the concept behind it. I enjoyed. It reminded me of one of those '70s kind of dystopian sci-fi. Very like Soylent Green or Logan's Run.
That's a movie that needs a reboot. Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Although it kind of did get a reboot with In Time.
There's been a couple things that have been very close to Logan's Run.
Which In Time was actually pretty solid. I was a little surprised about for a Justin Timberlake movie. I can't believe that. I can't believe I just said that, but it was.
Yeah, that sentence came out of your mouth, really?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I heard the same thing from people. I hate Justin Timberlake as a person, but I enjoy him in films.
Yeah, I don't really have thoughts on him one way or the other.
Most of the things I've seen him in, I can't be like, oh, he sucked in that. I'm like, he's pretty good in that.
No, it was definitely kind of, it definitely had a Logan's Run feel to it. Like I was sitting watching it with Mary, and I was trying to explain Logan's Run to her. And I haven't seen Logan's Run in probably 10 years at least.
There were people at Chiller dressed as Logan's Run.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
2 guys and a girl dressed as Logan's Run, and they had the thing on their hands.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's kind of cool.
So it's kind of cool to see that, but I had to explain to people, like, oh, it's Logan.
Yeah, because
Not
a very well-known movie, but it was another one of those movies kind of along the lines of Heavy Metal. Like I would get home from working at Blockbuster at 2 o'clock in the morning, and either Heavy Metal or Logan's Run would be on TBS at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Logan's Run used to get rerun on like TBS or TNT used to show Logan's Run.
Yeah,
on,
and it was like all hours a night.
They were good for Logan's Run.
Yeah. Looking at July 25th, the other Hercules movie, this one starring The Rock. Don't know much about it, just know that The Rock is playing Hercules.
Yeah, the only thing I saw about it is supposed to be after his 12 labors.
Okay.
So if you know the mythology, you know everything up to the movie.
Okay, cool. August 1st, we have, this is for all you music people out there, we have Get On Up, which is a movie about James Brown.
Oh.
Which would be kind of interesting. And then, of course, the movie that I am waiting for, and I want August to get here quickly. For this movie, it can stay August 1st for the rest of the summer. Guardians of the Galaxy. Because I'm dying for Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. And then my summer gets wrecked the following weekend
Let's just skip that week.
By that,
We don't need to talk about that.
by that fur coat wearing. Have you seen the? You probably haven't seen the picture of him in the fur coat.
No, I have not.
You'll have to
I've been
Google it.
purposely avoiding this because I know what it does to your blood pressure.
I know it's all right. The weekend after that, August 15th, August 8th, we're not talking about. August 8th is not happening. The weekend after that, August 15th, I had no idea this movie was coming out. The Expendables 3.
Oh, yeah. I've been kind of following this. They just kind of ran teaser trailers where they had the whole cast walking in an airplane hangar.
Now it's cheap.
Yeah.
Well, probably not with the names that they had in it. It
true,
probably cost a lot of money just to round all those people up.
Yeah.
Because this is a big one. The cast on this one is phenomenal. They added Harrison Ford, Antonio Banderas, Wesley Snipes, Mel Gibson, and Ronda Rousey.
Really?
And Kelsey Grammer, too. I don't know how Kelsey Grammer got into this, but right now it's
he's got to be like the bad guy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's the mastermind.
Either that or he's like cameo.
Actually, I don't think he's the bad guy. I think Mel Gibson is the bad guy.
Hmm.
Right now we're looking at Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Antonio Banderas, Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kellen Lutz, who I don't know who he is. I think he's one of the young guys that they put in it. Terry Crews, Ronda Rousey, Kelsey Grammer. I don't know who Natalie Byrne is. I'm sure I'd recognize her from something, but it's a tiny little picture. Oh, Robert Davey is in it. Everybody knows him. He's that guy, that pock-marked face guy. He was in Die Hard. He was in one of the James Bond movies. He was a villain. Mm-hmm. He's been around forever. Randy Couture is coming back. I'm just going to go with names that I know now because we're getting into the bottom. And all right, Randy Couture is the last name that I know.
Yeah. That's a, solid Expendables cast.
Yeah. And I'm sure the other thing that they've been teasing beyond Expendables 3 is the Expendables, which would be an all-female action movie.
I could get behind that.
That could work.
Where they want to get Sigourney Weaver, Linda Hamilton, and I guess, I don't know, Cynthia Rothrock and...
Yeah.
Well, they could even get Helen Mirren. I mean, from...
Helen Mirren would work.
Who's good in Red.
Oh, she's great in Red. And then the following week after that, which is the last week I have up, is the new Sin City movie, A Dame to Kill For, which the trailers I've seen on that looks really good.
Now, how long ago was the last Sin City movie? Was that 10 years ago?
It might have been close. It's close to that.
It was a while ago,
A while back.
I was all psyched that they were going to crank out a bunch of them kind of quick. Sin City was 2005.
So, yeah, almost 10 years, yeah.
And either of you guys have Dish Network or DirecTV?
I have DirecTV.
Do you get the El Rey network at all?
Oh, I have no idea.
That's that Robert Rodriguez's television network.
Okay.
It's got the Dusk Till Dawn TV series on it.
Oh.
And the rest of it is just showing like old kung fu movies and 70s and revenge movie type of thing.
Oh, I'll have to look that up.
Grindhouse type of stuff. And I'm waiting for my cable company to pick it up, but I have heard nothing about it yet. And I haven't talked to anybody that's even watched the network.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
You'll have to look and report back.
For a while, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Huh. I don't know, because I have my channel guide set to just the channels I watch, so it may be in there somewhere, and I just don't see it because it didn't click with me. I'll look.
Yeah, check it out, because I'd like to find out what the if it's any good or if it's just all Robert Rodriguez hype, which he can kind of do sometimes.
Yeah.
I skipped ahead on the list a little bit. I know you only went so far, but did you see this? There's an Equalizer movie coming out.
No.
I saw that. Is that really what I think it is?
I think
September
it's an
20th.
Equalizer movie. It's Denzel Washington, a former Black Ops commando who faked his death for a quiet life in Boston, comes out of retirement to rescue a young girl, and finds himself face-to-face with Russian gangsters. That was kind of what the Equalizer was, right? He was kind of a retired soldier, retired...
Yeah, he would help out the underdog.
Yeah, he was like the A-Team, but one guy.
Right.
And he had a hat. That's all I really remember about the Equalizer. And he was an older guy.
I don't remember much about the Equalizer, but if they're going to do that, they need to make a Sledgehammer movie.
Yes.
Sledgehammer followed by Hunter, followed by Riptide.
Yes, I love Riptide.
I loved Riptide. Riptide was such a great show. We talk about Riptide every once in a while.
I have no idea what the story is in this, but I've seen the trailers, and before we took the kids to one of the movies, and the trailer for Box Trolls, the movie just looks cute and fun.
Okay.
It just looks like a fun family movie. Yeah. But it's like little trolls that wear boxes as clothes.
Okay. Sure.
And it's not anime, it's stop motion, and it's like true stop motion. They show you in the trailer that it's not a computer-generated thing, that they built all the sets.
Like old school stop motion?
Old school handcrafted stop motion.
I will go see that.
Check out the trailer for it. It's just kind of catchy and fun. Whatever song they're playing in it, it might be it has the whole world in its hands, which isn't cute and fun anymore now that WWF has made it creepy and scary. And
it's still cute and fun for me.
Yes. But that takes us through September. I mean, then you're going to start to get back into the Oscar bait stuff.
Yeah.
The fall gets into weird movies where they're trying to dump out on. Oh, yeah, Get On Up. I found that here. It says it's not coming out until October 17th.
Yeah. The list I had on it says August 1st, so maybe it got pushed.
Maybe they moved it up, or maybe they're burying it.
Yeah, it's either, one of those two.
I love me some James Brown, though.
Oh, me too. Aside from that, all I got is some little minor stuff. Although we do have we haven't touched on any Walking Dead stuff in a while, but we were talking in the pre-show stuff about how NBC was originally in the running to pick up The Walking Dead with one minor change. They wanted no zombies.
You wouldn't have noticed that at all, would you?
I mean, I guess it would have been. Well, they did make that TV show, and they just call it Revolution.
True. True, which is Mike's favorite TV show right now. And I think I heard it got canceled today. So.
It's like I'm happy and sad. It's like, you ever have a family member that was really sick? And you're just like, yeah, it would be better if there's...
So you're saying Revolution's in a better place now?
I think so. From the beginning of the show, it made me yell at my TV. It had some interesting things, but it tried to be very science fiction-y, or not very science fiction-y, but it tried to do this like pseudoscience and explain what was going on. But there were a lot of other things, simple things that didn't make sense. Now, I don't know how familiar. Nobody watched this show but me. I have yet to run into a person on the face of the planet that I can have a conversation with this show about.
I always meant to turn it on and try to watch it because I knew you were watching it, and I just, I wanted to support your habit, man.
They actually did a gag on, I think it was The Simpsons did it, where they were having a town hall meeting, and somebody's like, I thought this was the chat room group about Revolution. And I'm like, ooh. And that made me laugh because it was like one person that was there to talk about Revolution. But from the beginning with the show, all right, the main premise of it is the power went out. And then the world falls apart, which is an interesting concept. And it very much had a Walking Dead vibe where there was characters like the governor and characters that were cannibals and characters that were barbarians. It definitely borrowed a lot from the Walking Dead comic book.
Mm-hmm.
and it went in different directions. And it admittedly from the beginning they said they borrowed from Star Wars. I think I don't know. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's the band of rebels that team up to take down the Empire. At least in the first season.
Okay, so there's an Empire. All right.
There was an Empire that got blown up by a nuclear weapon when the power got turned back on.
Because someone turned off his targeting computer. Okay.
Pretty much.
Wait, if the power goes back on, doesn't that end the show?
It was the way they ended the first season, the power came back on. And then they started the second season where they're like, all right, shut the power back off.
What?
And that's kind of what happened.
I can absolutely
it's hard
see.
To explain without getting into I'd have to talk 2 hours about everything that happened in this convoluted show.
Coming soon, the Ninjaverse Revolution Special.
Here, I'll have you one sentence that I'll be like, all right, you don't have to explain any more to me. Tiny computer robots that have gained sentience and now are become like God.
I saw that on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, it's very, it's borrowed a lot from that. It's, ugh.
It sounds awful.
But anyway, I've been yelling at the concept is power is out for 15 years. When the power does come back on in certain little spots for different reasons, people can just jump in a car and start it up and drive away. No worry about a dead battery. No worry about gasoline that goes bad. I've probably said this 10 times on the show, but I can't leave gas in my lawnmower for more than 6 months.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
without having to strip out the whole motor, and
a generator started up one strike, just
Jeez.
No prime, no nothing, just thing hasn't run in 15 years. They're lights coming on and shit. Makes no sense in a mechanical sense.
Mm.
But I've been kind of yelling at the show for 2 seasons, and Angela, my wife, who watches it with me, she's into it. I mean, there's parts of the show I do like, but there's, she's a little bit more into it than I am. They finally did something that pissed her off.
Aha.
As these computers are trying to learn about human life, they've taken over
robot computers.
The robot computers.
Okay.
That shut off all that, or what makes the power go off. They have
my head already hurts.
They have physically taken over the brain of this woman, and they're controlling her body. And they put her into the Matrix. They did that episode too, where these computers can take you and knock you out, and you'll be in the Matrix.
They're not called midichlorians, are they?
They might be. They might be.
Skynet brand midichlorian nanobites. So anyway, she wants to experience different things, food, sex, and she wants to hear music. So he finds a cassette Walkman that it should have been 2012, 2013 when the power went out.
So it was already a museum piece.
So yeah, it's already 20 years old. He finds a cassette Walkman that the thing turns back on because the AA batteries lasted for 15 years.
Well, those Energizer batteries are pretty.
And he apologizes that I found music, but this might be the worst song ever recorded.
It was her favorite song.
I don't know what I was going to expect. I was thinking maybe Ice Ice Baby. I was thinking maybe something. I knew they weren't going to do something too current. But they went with Starship. We built this city on rock and roll.
Are you kidding?
I call shenanigans right there. That is the greatest song ever.
And that was it. That was what finally put her over the top.
She turned it off right there.
And she was mad at the show. Because that's like picking on, the happy fun kid at school.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. We were in the car the other day and the song came on the 80s channel on XM. And it's just...
You can't just help but, be uplifted and sing along.
Yeah.
People who write that show have no soul.
And try to besmirch the name of We Built This City on Rock and Roll.
These people have no soul.
Exactly. Well,
But I guess
I'd
maybe
like
it's
to say
kind
I'm
of
sorry to see it go, but
yeah.
I don't know if it will be missed.
Maybe that's just payback for Starship having shown up in the holiday special.
Maybe. They are part of the Star Wars lexicon.
They are.
Star Wars canon.
Now this is kind of, you know, a little off topic, but a little on topic. Now that the expanded universe has kind of been all but wiped away, where does the holiday special fit?
Well, they specifically said it's the expanded universe after Return of the Jedi.
Ah, all right.
I'm still ignoring them.
I ignore them to a point, but once they killed Chewie, I was like,
Well, you see, that's where I checked out. That's where the
that's exactly where I checked out.
universe died then.
That's exactly where I checked out. That's, you know, it's kind of killing the family dog,
Yeah.
and it was, you know.
Yeah, that was kind of the
I
end
was-
for me. I did see a funny meme about it.
I think you posted it with the Boba Fett and
Boba Fett?
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Boba Fett's like, oh, I'm dead now.
Chewbacca's like, I'm back, bitches. But yeah, I really checked out with the expanded universe, at least with the original characters after they killed Chewbacca, because it was like all of a sudden, you know, they were like, I think the reasoning behind it was, oh, everybody's too safe, blah 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 blah, you know, and they killed Chewbacca, and then they killed like everybody's kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed one of Han and Leia's kids, and
They killed two of Han and Leia's kids.
I didn't
they
go that
killed-
far.
Yeah, one
Killed-
people killed Luke Skywalker's wife, killed...
Yeah, one of the twins, Jason, one of the twins became a Sith Lord and then killed Mara Jade. And then Anakin, who was the youngest of the three, died somehow.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like you just spent all this time, you're a kid in kindergarten, building your blocks, getting everything just right. You're at the castle, you're putting the top piece on, and this other...
The bully comes
The
along.
bully comes over and just kicks it over.
Kicks over your... Yeah,
Just,
exactly.
and because it amuses him. No one else, just him.
And that was the thing. It was like, I almost, with some of the characters, it's like, some of like the timeline, it's like 30, 40, 50, 60 years after Return of the Jedi, and like some characters are still kicking. Like
Yeah.
Han, Luke, and Leia are still kicking, and they got to be like 200 years old. Like, kill them off.
Right, yeah.
Let the kids, you know. But so I don't really have too much of a problem with the expanded universe being wiped away, but
You know, one of my hopes was when I heard that Disney was taking over things, and they were going to diversify and spin things off, was we were going to see maybe an animated movie for the Timothy Zahn trilogy.
yeah, which I'd still love to see, but now it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in. And the true, I think, the heart of the expanded universe. You know, there was the Marvel comic during the 80s, but Star Wars kind of, you didn't get anything new for 5 or 6 years after almost 10 years after the Marvel comic got canceled, before the Dark Horse comic picked up, and the
Dark Horse comic didn't, I don't think, picked up until after the Zahn books hit.
They were coming out about the same time.
About the same time, because they coordinated to incorporate some of the same to keep the canon of the expanded universe.
Right, like Han and Leia having the twins in the Zahn trilogy carried over into Dark Empire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't read Dark Empire in forever.
So Dark Empire and the Zahn trilogy really launched that whole thing where you had some really good stories, you had some lesser than good stories.
Yeah, I mean, I've read some
There were
bad...
things from those expanded universe books that were incorporated into the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And
I think out of that whole, you know, we're wiping out the expanded universe thing, I'm most disappointed about the Zahn trilogy being gone, because that was what made Star Wars relevant again.
yeah.
Right.
You know, it was like, I remember being, I want to say freshman, actually, I think it might have been sophomore in high school.
It was
when those
sophomore.
came out. It was sophomore, because I remember talking to Frank and being like, ridiculously excited about, hey, there's a new Star Wars book coming out.
Yeah, it was definitely sophomore because my sophomore year I wrote my research paper in English on the Thrawn trilogy.
Nice. And that kind of disappoints me that that's kind of wiped away, but I'm hopeful for the new movie. The cast has been set. We didn't get to talk on it last week. We're not going to talk on it this week because we're running a little long. But there's some stuff coming out that the new movie might be, out of the three main characters, Han might be the main focus, and Luke and Leia kind of a bit part.
All that rumor mill stuff is so all over the place.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm taking it for what it is. I'm taking it for.
Yeah. I'm almost at a point where I'm just going to ignore it and try and come in when it's good and ready.
But they have announced that there are going to be 3 spin-off movies: one Han, one Boba Fett, and possibly either Yoda or Darth Maul, which could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, they could do a lot. I mean, they could spin off a lot of the characters. They could do a lot on television. Well, there's a lot there, and you're going to find somebody who is a fan of whatever most obscure Star Wars character had an action figure at some point. Somewhere in the world, there's a writer who that was his favorite character.
Yeah, somebody's going to put out a Walrus Man movie or
a Dangar movie,
Snaggletooth movie.
Yes.
Is it bad that I know the actual names of these characters?
No, because I do too. So I'm just my 80s. I'm going strictly 80s action figures right now.
Right,
so I'm going by 80s.
You're going on the name on the card.
Yeah, not Ponda Baba. It's Walrus Man.
Right.
That's I don't know if I discussed it on the show. I know I've discussed it in private with showing my nephew Star Wars for the first time, and getting to see the reaction. It was cool to see the reaction for him seeing the movie for the first time. And he's familiar with some of the characters from Star Wars Angry Birds, so he knows.
Right.
But he was just asking me who everybody was. Like, when it came to the cantina scene, he's like, what's that guy's name? Who's that guy?
Yeah.
And he goes, what was that guy's name? And I'm like, I forget what his name is now, but it used to be.
It used to be this,
And he's like, what do you mean it used to be? I'm like, they changed it. Why did they change it?
Forlom and Zuckus were wrong.
Yeah, they were backwards.
When we were kids,
Right. Like, Walrus Man, and Power Droid, and Death Star Droid, and
Hammerhead.
Character name.
But
Joe Schmo. But I anxiously await Star Wars.
I just want it to be good. That's all I ask. I just want it to be good because I was one of those people that Phantom Menace came out, and I know we've talked about this on the show. I stood online for my tickets. I saw Phantom Menace like 13 times in the theater. The only one I didn't see multiple times in the theater was Sith, which was a shame because that was the better of the 3.
Right.
But now, like, going back, I almost can't even watch them. It's like I just.
Did you see Big Bang Theory? What they did their.
I don't watch Big Bang Theory. I tried. I just can't get into it.
Look for it if he got it on demand or anything for CBS. They did a Star Wars episode and they talked about watching Star Wars and skipping Phantom Menace or skipping the prequels.
Yeah. So that's I go when I'm in a Star Wars mood. I go right to original trilogy. I don't even bother with the prequels.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I will watch if I'm flipping around and the prequels are on TV. I watch them.
Oh yeah, me too. But I don't get up and go, hey, I've got time on my hands. Let me watch the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, you don't pull out the disc, but you will for Empire, Jedi, or
yeah.
Star Wars. I refuse to call it by any other name. It is Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, yeah. I mean, I've taken to calling it A New Hope just to.
I will do it depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. I'll depending on who I'm talking to.
Because if I say to certain people A New Hope, they have no idea what I mean. and I can just say Star Wars. But other people, you gotta. Then you get nerds really pissed if you say Star Wars. Oh, you mean New Hope?
No, Star
No,
Wars.
dumbass. I mean its original title, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
That's like when I read stuff about Star Trek and it says Star Trek TOS,
Mm.
and I'm like, what the fuck is TOS? And I'm like, the original series. Oh, Jesus Christ! Why can't it just be Star Trek?
It's just Star Trek.
Well, you see, now you can't do that because now there's a movie that's named just Star Trek.
Mm. Which is different because the original Star Trek movie was Star Trek, the motion picture.
Right.
If everything else has a tagline on it, I don't think you need to retroactively put a tag on something that didn't have the tag. I don't know. Sorry.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to wrap this up before we talk for another 2 hours about Star Trek and Star Wars.
Subtitles on movies.
Subtitles on movies. And,
Did we even talk about the possible Flash Gordon remake?
No, we did not. Is there a
I couldn't remember
possible
if we talked about it last week. I didn't think we did.
I don't think we did.
But I did talk about Flash Gordon on Blu-ray, right?
No.
Oh, I watched Flash Gordon on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's amazing. You watch it on Blu-ray?
Is it
It really
gorgeous?
is. It's like a lava lamp blew up in your face.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is the prettiest thing ever.
Nice.
And
I
you
might
gotta
have
watch
to
it
get-
with a subwoofer. For that,
I might have to get a Blu-ray player just for that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
I'm still
And
living in it.
the other thing that's really cool, and I'll end on this, I promise this will be the last thing I talk about. There is a 15-minute or so interview with Alex Ross, the comic book artist, talking about the Flash Gordon movie. And it should just be called In Defense of Flash Gordon. Because he sells it. For everybody that's ever goofed on that movie for the corniness of it, he loves every little aspect of that film.
Nice.
And he tells you why it was cool and what made it awesome. That's worth getting the DVD just to watch Alex Ross talk about how awesome Flash Gordon is. And how it was like it inspired him to be an artist.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have
Watch
to pick
that
that up. I'm definitely got to pick that up.
Yeah, check it out. Get yourself a Blu-ray player. Get yourself a Blu-ray of Flash Gordon.
I will get myself a Blu-ray player, and that will be the first Blu-ray I pick up.
And then we could have like a Brian Blessed marathon. You could watch Flash Gordon and Star Wars Phantom Menace.
How about Flash Gordon and I, Claudius?
All right.
I'll go back to ancient Rome before I go back to Phantom Menace.
Wow.
And Brian Blessed was in a fourth Doctor Who series.
No, it wasn't Fourth Doctor. It was Sixth Doctor.
Right. It was Sixth Doctor.
It was Colin Baker.
Yes, it was Colin Baker. My good friend Colin Baker.
Our friend of the show, Colin Baker.
Yes.
Speaking of, I'm in the process of starting a Doctor Who experiment.
Oh boy.
I've got my wife. Gonna sit her down. Gonna start her on. I'm gonna start her with 9 just because.
You got to start with 9 because the emotional stuff that builds up into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Get her hooked.
Yeah. So
You got to force her through the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened. We sat down the other night and started watching. She got involved in something else, and I'm like, well, come on, I want to sit down, and I want you to please just sit down and watch Doctor Who with me. She's like, all right. And she's like 20 minutes or 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, and she's like, I'm falling asleep. We'll have to do this another night. So I got to start her. I got to start over again. But I'll report back shortly as to.
Start her again. Once you get her to the Rose's dad episode, she's hooked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that'll get. I know that'll hook my wife.
And then you have to power through because you'll have to watch everything up until now for when the series comes back in the fall.
Yeah, because I'm a little behind on that, but
Tell me you've at least seen Day of the Doctor.
I didn't see Day of the Doctor.
What?
I didn't. I don't want to say I didn't see Day of the Doctor. I saw most of Day of the Doctor. I was watching it at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve and fell asleep.
See,
New Year's Eve and fell asleep or something like that.
Yeah, I had record the BBC simulcast, so I still have it on my DVR with no commercials.
Nice.
I watched it the other day. And
I was gonna go see it in the theater and forgot. So
I should have saved it on my DVR. And I had seen they had the DVD at Costco, and I didn't buy it. And then the next time I went to Costco,
is that on DVD?
Yes.
I'll have to pick it up then, because I probably missed like the last 15 minutes or so of it.
You missed the best part.
I know, and I was pissed because I was just like, as I said, it was like some ridiculous hour of the morning, and I was watching.
Do
you know what happens at the very end?
I think so.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you then.
Yeah, don't tell me.
I won't. Let me just say that I literally fist pumped at the end of that episode.
Nice.
So it is good.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely catch up on that. I'll have to.
I think I cried happy tears.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like they did something and they just did it so right that I was just like, all right.
All right.
It was good.
All right. On that note, let's get out of here. You know where to find us, ninjaverse.wordpress.com, I think. Usually I don't do this stuff, so forgive me.
We'll plug.
We'll plug. Ninjaverse.wordpress.com, Facebook, all our Twitter thingies. I think we're on Tumblr. I think we're on whatever. We're now on YouTube. So definitely
check out Fat Face interview people.
You can watch Mike's Fat Face interview people, but even more impressive, you can watch Will eat a disgustingly delicious cheeseburger. And that's it. So, Gene, if you want to plug your stuff again, go right ahead.
All right. Well, you can find me. Easiest way to find me is thehammerstrikes.com. That's my blog. It links to everything else I do. So remember that. thehammerstrikes.com.
Cool. So, for the Ninjaverse, I am Chris.
I'm Mike.
And I'm not Will.
He's not Will. He's Gene, and we will see you possibly next week. But you know how we are with this shit. So, laters.
See you.